The newest Pokemon, Sylveon, has been added to Pokemon Unite, and it is absolutely busted. Let's take a look. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. We're bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we're gonna look at the brand new character, Sylveon, which is just released in Pokemon Unite. Now, a few days ago, I made a video breaking down Sylveon and what its kit looks like, and I said that this Pokemon could change Pokemon Unite forever, and it doesn't seem that I was far off, as this may be the most OP or busted Pokemon that we've seen in Pokemon Unite. And you might be like, aDrive, aren't you getting a little ahead of yourself? It's been less than 24 hours since this character has dropped. And I'll tell you, I talked to a lot of different players, some of the best players in the world, and I think the consensus is right now is that Sylveon is just insanely strong. You can pick it up in your game with 10,000 coins right now, or use the premium paid currency feature. And this is an attacker character that can deal massive damage, but really what Sylveon does is it's got an incredible assassin-like appeal that can get in and out of battle with Mystical Fire's dash, deal massive amounts of damage, and it's actually relatively easy to play in terms of mechanics. So I think that that's gonna allow Sylveon to kind of be a standout on almost every single competitive team moving forward. Be sure to hit that like button down below if you guys enjoyed this video, and of course subscribe to the channel if you guys are new for daily Pokemon Unite content. I'm gonna break down exactly what you guys should be running on Sylveon in this video, and I'm gonna feature some great gameplay from the Team Shoutout Esports team member, Mr. Moo, who was wrecking people with Sylveon last night on launch. So let's break it down. So here's Sylveon, and we have 3 different items that we can fit into his item slots, and I think the general consensus is you definitely want Buddy Barrier. If you're not running Buddy Barrier, you're making a huge mistake. This is an item that grants a shield to you and your ally when you Unite move, and Sylveon actually is the earliest Unite move on an offensive character in the game, getting it at level 8, which is absolutely insane. So I would start every kit with Sylveon with Buddy Barrier. Now, in terms of other items, I think there's a couple different things you can talk about here. I think Choice Specs is definitely something that is worthy of being in this conversation, which is gonna boost the damage output of those special attacks, deal more damage whether you're running Hyper Voice or Mystical Fire. I do think there's a case to be made for Muscle Band as well, for its basic attack to be boosted. I know that it boosts physical attack, but again, we're talking about its basic attack. I think there's some value there. Focus Band is another one that I think is definitely being utilized, and Mr. Moo is running Focus Band, and that's the gameplay we're gonna be showcasing. So I would probably start with this build. Buddy Barrier 100%, and then the other 2 items, Focus Band, Choice Specs. You could argue instead of Focus Band, you could talk about something like a Wise Glasses to boost your special attack even further. There's also the opportunity for Shell Bell, which not only increases your special attack, adds a little bit of healing, and also decreases your cooldowns. Mystical Fire really benefits from that. There's also a really unique situation where Sylveon is the only Pokemon in the game that can attack while scoring. I'm not saying Score Shield is super viable here because this is a more offensive character, but it can attack while scoring through its Mystical Fire. So I would look at those special attack boosting items as I just indicated there. I would go with obviously Wise Glasses, Choice Specs. I think there's some value for Score Shield. I think you could potentially play around with Energy Amplifier to see if you can get those extra ults in a game. It does get its Unite move at 8, but again, you're starting with Buddy Barrier, and then you're probably playing with Specs and something else. In terms of battle items, I think you're pretty straightforward just going with Full Heal. I think there is a case to be made for Eject Button, and also a case to be made for Fluffy Tail, but with the Mystical Fire set, you already have incredible mobility, so I don't really think Eject Button is all that needed. Full Heal does protect you from those stuns and CC, and I think there is a set where Fluffy Tail and Hyper Voice can be used to burn objectives, especially if you're jungling with the Sylveon. I guess you could also argue that X Attack could be good, but I'm not necessarily convinced that that's the play. So I would say probably go with Full Heal, and then I would test around with Fluffy Tail and Eject Button. Now when it comes to a breakdown of what Sylveon and Eevee can do, Eevee has a boosted 3rd attack, and then Sylveon, it slightly changes. It increases damage, increases the user movement speed, and its passive stacks, I believe, up to 6 times, and that's why you would consider something like a Muscle Band, right? Because the more basic attacks that you're getting, it says every time Sylveon deals damage or receive damage, increases special attack and special defense by 2.5% for 1.5 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. So the more damage you're putting out, the more of that passive boost that you're actually gaining access to. Then it comes down to its different attacks, right? So I mentioned the 2 different abilities. You start off with Swift as your basic attack with Eevee. It's funny enough that Swift actually doesn't hit all the enemies, which is kind of funny. And then you have the choice between Mystical Fire or Hyper Voice. Now, Mystical Fire will create 4 flames around you and shoot them in the direction of the closest enemy. You don't have to aim this attack, and this attack can be used while scoring. It seems as though Mystical Fire is the better choice right now. It does come with a dash, allowing you to dash forward, and that allows for incredible ganking and flexibility in the game. I think Sylveon is an incredible opportunity in jungle and in lane because it's an early Unite move at level 8. So those are a couple things to mention there. Mystical Fire does seem to be the better option right now. I do think there is a world where Hyper Voice is viable as well. It can deal absolute massive damage and shred through objectives, allowing you to just absolutely decimate the opposing team. Again, the farther away they are, the better off Hyper Voice is going to be, and it actually has a really cool mechanic to it where it actually reduces enemy special defense for Hyper Voice only, and then your next damage of the sound wave actually increases when you get the boosted at level 10, which is so early on. You actually get an extra sound wave just as you get an extra Mystical Fire. And that's the thing about Sylveon's kit. Every one of the 4 moves it gets are viable, and they all upgrade super early at level 10 and level 12. So this thing at every end fight is going to have its max upgraded moves, or in contrary to something like MAMOSWINE, MAMOSWINE doesn't get Earthquake Plus till 14, and oftentimes you don't even touch that level until the end of the game, if at all. So it makes it really, really powerful. Now's a pretty good time for me to plug my new t-shirts. By the way, you guys can pick up this awesome Sylveon t-shirt. I'll have it in the description below at teamshiny.com. Go pick one up if you're a Sylveon fan. How could you not be after this absolute destruction this thing can do? And then from there, you have the option of Baby Doll Eyes, which deals a little bit of damage. And then you choose between Draining Kiss and Calm Mind. Now, Draining Kiss blows a kiss back and forth between you and the target. It has a little bit of HP restoration. I think it's a solid move. There's definitely a bulkier set that you can run with this for HP recovery, but the consensus that I'm seeing is that Calm Mind is definitely better. Calm Mind boosts your special attack, special defense, and movement speed for a short period of time, and once you get it upgraded again at level 12, which is so clutch, you're definitely going to get to level 12 in any game that you're competent in. You're going to be able to have that extra buffer, essentially nullifying one opposing Pokemon's attack and granting you a shield. This thing is absolutely crazy. Its whole kit is just decked out with powerful attacks and options. From there, you get its Unite move, which again gets access at level 8, which is insane. The earliest attacker Pokemon getting a Unite move in the game. You jump into the air, you become briefly invincible, and then you land, you deal damage to the opposing Pokemon, and then you actually heal for 10 seconds afterwards. 50% of the damage you deal from Sylveon is converted into HP, and basic attacks are excluded. So you get your basically your Hyper Voice or Mystical Fire damage or your Draining Kiss damage. You're healing back 50% of that. Absolutely bonkers. Some other fun things about Sylveon, its Mystical Fire reduces cooldown when it hits, the different flames. Every single time it hits, it reduces that cooldown. The first flame does more damage, and then the rest of the flames deal 25% of that damage. You also decrease special attacks, so Sylveon becomes an incredible effective counter to Pokemon like Venusaur, which can run up on it and try to Petal Dance Giga Drain. You can actually 1v1 Venusaurs because of that special attack drop that you're getting from Mystical Fire. So that's really interesting to note. I already mentioned that Hyper Voice drops special defense. And then again, between the other options, Calm Mind just seems to be very, very strong right now, being able to boost yourself, getting yourself that special attack, special defense, and speed buff, so you can run around the map and deal even more damage. Sylveon doesn't have the craziest stats when we look at its stats. Its special attack hits 679 at level 15. It's got pretty solid bulk at 7,000. Its attack is decent. Its defense is okay. Its special defense is actually a little bit lower than I would have thought. But ultimately, it serves its purpose as an offensive assassin Pokemon, being able to jump into battle with Mystical Fire, melt Pokemon, absolutely melt Pokemon, and then disengage so it can kind of get its cooldowns back on Mystical Fire and Calm Mind and things like that. This thing is ridiculous. So there's that. We covered the full breakdown on Sylveon, and a big shout out to Mr. Move for getting us some high quality gameplay footage. If I was you, I would recommend playing Sylveon in the jungle right now, but I do think there is some value to it in lane, especially with the 3 bottom strategy developing. It gets its move kit at Mystical Fire or Hyper Voice at level 4, allowing it to deal massive damage on evolution pretty much right away. Eevee's early game lane is a little bit like kind of average, but if you're jungling it, you're hitting level 4 on the first gank, like before the first gank, which is crazy. Like this thing is ridiculous. A lot of people are saying that it's incredibly overtuned and this thing is probably the strongest Pokemon in the game. I think we need a little bit more time to make that decision, but I will tell you guys that the consensus that I'm seeing right now is that this thing is absolutely busted. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Be sure to like the video if you guys enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. That's your rundown on Sylveon. Have fun. I know that I'm gonna just have a blast. You can watch me streaming on twitch.tv/aDrive. Don't forget to pick up a Sylveon shirt, and that's gonna be that for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Pikachu.